stainless steel is eternal. It will never rust, it will never corrode. If the car is modestly dented, you bump it out, sand it, and refresh it. If it's scratched, you rub it out with a billow pad. And since our fenders all screw on and off in a matter of minutes, most small body jobs become quick service instead of overnight. Our chassis frame is also stainless steel. Of course, not even Rolls-Royce do that. You ask, is that an extravagance? Not if you're building long-term value in outstanding resale.
Mom! Dad's back! Back from where? Dad just got the DeLorean back from Wizard of Oz. And well, it looks like something from the future. Great, let's go see.
The 97 DeLorean is equipped with a 4.5-liter aluminum Rover V8. The engine has been reworked with boarded heads, a larger camshaft, and an increased compression ratio. Fuel is delivered through a Carter AFB spread bore into an Edelbrock Performer intake manifold. Ignition is handled through a Mallory Unilite distributor connected to an MSD6 ignition box with an Excel supercoil. The engine is also equipped with a set of powder-coated headers, crossover pipe, and dual low restriction mufflers. As a result, the engine produces over 260 horsepower. Numerous pieces of hot rodding equipment are available for this engine, especially in the European market, that go from mild to extremely wild, including 8 single carbureted setups. The book by David Hardcastle gives good examples of this equipment and where it can be purchased. The transmission on the 97 DeLorean is a 4-speed overdrive automatic. It is actually the later version of the original DeLorean transmission, known as a ZF4 rather than a ZF3. This transmission, also known as a Tiptronics transmission, is operated by a computer that is programmable from a PC. The computer software allows one to set the shift points depending upon the engine RPM and throttle setting. It is fully programmable over various RPM ranges. This computer also allows operation of the transmission in the manual shift mode. This mode, known as the bump stick mode, similar to Indy cars, allows one to do road racing as well as regular driving by manually selecting whatever gear is desired. Of all the design improvements in the 97 DeLorean, the one that I prefer most is the new full-size window design. The tiny windows in a regular DeLorean just don't cut it in the summertime. You have to run the air conditioning all the time, and drive-through windows are virtually out of the question. So when building the 97 DeLorean, we decided to put real windows in the car. These new windows were installed in standard DeLorean doors. No cuts or alterations were necessary. The windows are mounted in custom molded aluminum channels that are bent to match the contour of the door. They are then riveted in place. The windows were made by Pro Glass of Elk Grove Village, Illinois, who specializes in making plexiglass windshields for racing cars. The windows were made of 1/8 inch Lexan that was smoke tinted to match the original DeLorean color. Custom power window regulators were also fabricated. As you can see in the video, the windows go up and down very easily. They also offered the opportunity to stick your head out the window, just like my son is doing right here. Because of the larger engine, it was necessary to install a larger cooling system in the 97 DeLorean. This larger cooling system is composed of a 50% larger radiator in both area and thickness, as well as 50% larger cooling pipes. What was interesting in the cooling pipe design was that only 3 pipes were necessary from front to rear, which eliminated 2 hoses that are found on a normal stock DeLorean. Therefore, this improved cooling system actually has less points to leak than the original design. The new DeLorean has replacement headlights that make maintenance of the headlights far easier than the original design. The original headlights became difficult to maintain because as the fascia shrunk over time, the screws became inaccessible. The new headlights are smaller than the original equipment, yet provide better luminosity. They are encased in a blackout panel that is easily removable for maintenance and replacement. This blackout panel extends the black line from the original DMC panel, and in some people's opinion, provide a much sleeker looking front end. The 2 cars are shown here side by side, with my cat checking them out. And if you study the video closely, you will notice the car on the left has the smaller headlights. You will also notice that the smaller headlights appear to show that the front grille extends to both sides of the fender and actually makes the front end look sleeker than the original equipment car on the right. The fascia on the new DeLorean also contains reinforcement panels on top of both headlights. These reinforcement panels are epoxied to the original fascia to eliminate the eyebrow warping problem that has plagued DeLoreans for years. The new fascias will no longer warp because they are now reinforced with a 1/8 inch thick piece of aluminum. As most DeLorean owners know, the rubber roof seal at the top of the doors tends to rot away over time. As a result, we decided to solve this problem in the 97 DeLorean. The rubber roof seal was replaced with a 1/16 inch neoprene rubber membrane that stretches from door to door and is glued to the top of the fiberglass between the doors below the stainless steel T-panel. This rubber membrane flexes as the doors are open and closed, and because of its neoprene rubber content, should last indefinitely. The reinforced door strut system is composed of 2 parts. First, an improved strut bracket from P.J. Grady was installed to strengthen the area where the strut attaches to the door. The second thing that was done was the steel panel in the roof, which is glued to the fiberglass, was reinforced by bolting it from the top of the T-section through the fiberglass to a reinforcement plate below. Pictures show the reinforcement plate both on the bottom passenger side and on the bottom driver's side. A new remote mirror switch was also incorporated into the 97 DeLorean. It is gray and black tinted, so it goes with both styles of interiors. The switch itself is of the same basic wiring design, so it virtually plugs into the original wire loom from the DeLorean. As you can see here, it also fits into the standard DeLorean molding with minor alterations. 97 DeLorean comes with greasable tie rod ends. This is an improvement to the steering of the car because it makes it considerably easier to steer. The tie rod end is actually a stock DeLorean tie rod end that has been machined for a grease fitting. During the machining, extra steps were taken to assure no metal got into the nylon bearing, but this was actually a very simple task. After installing the greasable tie rod ends and comparing the drivability of the car to a stock DeLorean, one can easily feel the difference in the steering. The 97 DeLorean comes with a 105 mile per hour speedometer. This range was chosen for a number of reasons, but the major reason was it reflects typical driving ranges and you get to see the speedometer go around very quickly. However, other versions of this speedometer are available. The most readily available model is made by Marty Mayer from St. Louis, Illinois. It goes from 0 to 140 miles per hour. The engine is equipped with an oil priming system because 90% of all engine wear occurs during the initial startup where oil pressure is virtually zero. This is especially critical in collector cars that may sit for months at a time, and any residual oil that may have been on the engine bearing surfaces has now dripped into the oil pan. The oil priming system runs for approximately 7 seconds prior to start of the engine. Engines equipped with an oil priming system and using synthetic oil can easily last up to 300,000 miles. The engine is also equipped with dual oil filters. These filters, because of their redundancy, assure that absolutely clean oil returns to the engine, reducing wear again to very, very low levels. These oil filters are remotely located from the engine block to facilitate easy replacement during regular oil changes. This engine in this car is also equipped with a 144 amp alternator. It's a standard GM model that's rewound to give extra output for stereos, televisions, or other electrical equipment that seems to be so necessary on vehicles today. The 97 DeLorean has a smoke metallic interior. This was created by using a vinyl spray dye over the existing gray interior. The purpose of this change in color was to make the interior more consistent with the stainless steel finish of the car. The color was also clear-coated to minimize wear in the finish over time. After 2 years of usage, the smoke metallic interior has maintained its brilliance. The stainless steel on the 97 DeLorean was coated with a urethane high-gloss clear coat finish. The stainless steel was prepped first by sanding it to remove any previous scratches, then acid etching it with nitric acid, and then finally rinsing it with distilled water. After the car was dry, it was spray painted. The clear coat tends to give the stainless steel a slightly darker color. It actually matches the original header and fascia paint color much closer than the original unfinished stainless steel. The original stock DeLoreans only had 2 locations where the mark was displayed. One was on the front grille showing the DMC logo. The other was a black, reversed embossed image on the rear bumper. From a distance, the rear bumper name was virtually indistinguishable. As a result, we decided to add some more emblems to the car to make the mark more visible. These included, of course, the new additions for the V8 engine, the 4-speed automatic transmission, door sill plates, tire valve emblems, the later model hood emblem, stainless steel letters for the rear bumper, and lastly, something for the future. The last improvement in the 97 DeLorean was the addition of trailing arm support brackets by Burl Automotive. Considering the increased horsepower and torque of the car, these were absolutely necessary to minimize the forward travel of the wheels during hard acceleration. These were actually added after the engine was initially installed and the displacement measured before and after the installation of the brackets. The brackets performed absolutely spectacular, minimizing nearly all of the forward travel of the drivetrain. The 97 DeLorean was dyno tested at the Hot Rod Power Fest at Route 66 Drag Raceway in Joliet, Illinois in July of 1999. The car was dyno tested on a portable dyno that was presented by Holley Carburetors. This particular dyno test is a test of rear wheel horsepower and torque as opposed to the net horsepower and torque advertised by automobile manufacturers. This measure of horsepower and torque more closely reflects the real-world performance of a high-performance car. You can listen to the engine being accelerated in the video.
He's got the doors open.
In this particular test, the 97 DeLorean put out 167 peak horsepower at the rear wheels and 215 pounds of torque. The 97 DeLorean took over 7 years to build at, not surprisingly, considerable expense. It is what we believe to be the evolution of the DeLorean, if John DeLorean was permitted to continue his car production, into what would have been a high-performance vehicle that was comfortable to drive and state-of-the-art. It is continuing to live the dream.